discussing his new book, we have with us Dr. Michael Hopkins, the founder and chairman of the CSR Financial Institute. So, Michael, let's talk about the title of your book. This is CSR and Sustainability, from the margins to the mainstream. Why did you settle on that?
In fact, the title came from a friend of mine who worked on the environment some 30 years ago with Gro Brundtland. And he said the environment is now come from the margins to the mainstream. The theme of the book is very much that, is that CSR has been around for quite a long time, but it was after the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, November, that one could say communism nil, capitalism won. But that's a little bit too crude. Essentially, we didn't want the excesses of capitalism, exploitation of workers, polluting products, ignoring the environment and social issues, human rights, and the rest of it. Because that we wanted really what was often called the caring face of capitalism. So I thought what we needed was a third way. And then I came across corporate social responsibility, and since then have developed it somewhat along those lines. Since then, the word sustainability, which came out of the Brundtland report, has come up. And today I would say that CSR and sustainability are pretty much the same concept.
Okay, so CSR, in terms of being in the working practice, this is something that you and other leading thinkers discuss. Is that happening across the world already?
Yes, it's absolutely amazing what's going on in the world on CSR and sustainability from when I started, 25 years ago. Obviously helped along by scandals that we saw in Enron and more recently the Volkswagen crisis. The Volkswagen crisis is really interesting. I won't go into great detail on that, but essentially it was a failure of governance. But Volkswagen had a CSR report. They covered sustainability, they covered all their stakeholders and so on. But one thing they didn't focus upon was governance and their board. And you look at some of the BBC writings on that and you see a lot of mistakes that they've made there.
Okay, and then lastly, what about this Hopkins CSR model? Could you give us an outline of that, and how can maybe students or practitioners, even anyone, adopt that?
Well, thank you for asking. Actually, this is quite recent. I think it was after the last time I was here. We gave a seminar. I gave a seminar on the book in Geneva to my CSR meetups on the thesis of the book. And I was talking a lot about, we have a conceptual model, we have a definition, we have a CSR strategy, we have a measurement, we have next steps, we have a certification process. And all that is described in the book. And one very bright young lady came up to me afterwards from Singapore, and she said, "This is fantastic, your model, but you never say where the model came from. And it's quite clear that you came up with most of that. Why don't you call it the Hopkins CSR Model?" Well, I said, I don't really think so. We must have some sort of ego to appear on camera, that's for sure. But I thought about it, and gradually I thought, actually not a bad idea, because what it would do is to focus people's minds on what we're talking about. So yes, thank you very much, Sam, the Hopkins CSR Model.
Absolutely. Michael, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you very much, Sam.
And thank you for watching. Be sure to click back to Dukascopy TV for more updates and exclusive interviews. We'll see you next time.